What happens when one of Britain's most prestigious royal estates faces an invasion that has Queen Camilla calling it terrible and King Charles issuing formal warnings to the public? The answer might surprise you, and it's happening right now at Sandringham. Sandringham Estate in Norfolk stands as one of the crown jewels of royal properties, spanning approximately 30,000 square feet of pristine English countryside. This has been the private retreat of British monarchs for generations, where Queen Elizabeth II spent many of her final Christmases, and where King Charles III now continues the family tradition. The estate isn't just a residence, it's a working property with gardens, woodlands, and agricultural land that requires constant management and care. But this summer, something unprecedented has disrupted the careful balance of this royal sanctuary. The estate that has hosted everything from intimate family gatherings to grand state occasions now faces a crisis that's forcing the king himself to take extraordinary measures. This isn't about political upheaval or family drama. It's about nature itself turning against one of Britain's most important royal residences. The estate has always prided itself on its harmony between human habitation and natural wildlife. King Charles, a passionate environmentalist and gardener, has long championed sustainable practices across all royal properties. His commitment to organic farming and environmental stewardship at Sandringham reflects his broader vision for the monarchy's relationship with the natural world. But sometimes, even the most carefully managed environments can face unexpected challenges that test every system in place. The warning signs began appearing in early August 2025, though the full extent of the situation wouldn't become clear until Queen Camilla herself spoke publicly about what was happening behind the scenes. The royal couple had been preparing for their traditional summer residence at Balmoral in Scotland, but events at Sandringham demanded immediate attention and ongoing monitoring. As summer reached its peak, the perfect storm of environmental conditions created an ideal breeding ground for an invasion that would catch even the experienced groundskeepers off guard. The usually peaceful gardens and public areas of the estate began showing signs of disturbance that couldn't be ignored. Staff members noticed increased activity in areas where visitors typically gathered, and it became clear that action needed to be taken quickly. On August 18, 2025, King Charles III took the unusual step of issuing formal warnings to visitors at Sandringham. Signs appeared throughout the public areas of the estate with a clear and direct message. Please be aware that wasp activity is currently high in this area. Thank you. This wasn't a routine seasonal notice. This was an acknowledgement that the situation had escalated beyond normal management protocols. The timing couldn't have been worse. Sandringham traditionally welcomes thousands of visitors during the summer months, particularly for events like the annual Sandringham Flower Show, which had taken place just weeks earlier. In July. The 142nd iteration of this beloved event had proceeded smoothly, with King Charles and Queen Camilla arriving by carriage and delighting the crowds. But in the weeks that followed, the estate would face a very different kind of attention. Professional beekeepers in full protective suits were photographed on the grounds, a clear indication that this wasn't a problem that could be solved with standard pest control measures. The image of specialists in complete sting-proof gear working across the manicured lawns of one of Britain's most prestigious estates provided a stark visual representation of just how serious the situation had become. 3 days after the king's official warning, Queen Camilla herself broke her silence about the crisis during a public appearance that had nothing to do with Sandringham. On August 21, 2025, while attending the Ebor Festival at York Racecourse, the 78-year-old Queen was asked about the situation at the royal estate. Her response was direct and revealing. She described the wasp infestation as terrible, a word that carries significant weight when spoken by someone accustomed to maintaining royal composure in public. But Camilla's revelation went beyond just confirming the media reports. She disclosed that the problem wasn't confined to Sandringham alone. Her own private property in Wiltshire was experiencing related issues, with her personal beehives swarming in ways that were causing additional complications. This admission revealed that the crisis extended across multiple royal properties, suggesting environmental factors that went well beyond a single estate management issue. The Queen's public acknowledgement of the situation represented a rare moment of royal candor about practical challenges facing the monarchy. Traditionally, operational issues at royal estates are handled discreetly, without public commentary from senior royals. For Camilla to specifically characterize the situation as terrible indicated both the severity of the problem and the impact it was having on daily life at these residences. The timing of her comments, made during a completely unrelated royal engagement focused on horse racing and charitable work, demonstrated how the Sandringham situation had become significant enough to warrant discussion even in casual conversation. Dressed elegantly in a white patterned dress, pale blue belted coat, and fedora-style hat, the Queen maintained her royal dignity while providing unprecedented insight into a crisis unfolding behind palace walls. The immediate aftermath of the Queen's public comments brought intense media attention to what might otherwise have been treated as a routine estate management issue. News outlets across Britain and internationally picked up the story, with headlines emphasizing both the unusual nature of the problem and the royal family's candid response to it. The juxtaposition of ancient royal traditions and modern pest control challenges captured public imagination in unexpected ways. Royal staff had to implement immediate safety protocols for both residents and visitors. The usual summer routines at Sandringham required significant modifications, with certain outdoor areas becoming temporarily off-limits and standard garden tours needing to be rerouted around the most heavily affected zones. The estate's famous gardens, typically showcasing the finest in British horticulture, became the epicenter of an ongoing battle between human management and natural forces. But the wasp invasion wasn't the only challenge threatening the estate's operations. Reports emerged that King Charles was particularly concerned about a potential shortage of pheasants that could affect the traditional winter shooting calendar. Royal expert Hilary Fordwich revealed that the king was livid, frustrated, and disappointed about this additional complication, noting his deep personal attachment to the cherished family tradition, and his concern that these management issues reflected poorly on the estate he inherited from his mother, Queen Elizabeth II. The convergence of multiple environmental challenges at Sandringham highlighted the complex relationship between maintaining royal traditions and adapting to changing natural conditions. The estate that had operated smoothly for decades suddenly found itself contending with issues that required both immediate tactical responses and longer-term strategic planning. What made the situation particularly challenging was the public nature of Sandringham's operations. Unlike purely private residences, the estate regularly hosts public events, welcomes thousands of visitors annually, and maintains areas that must be safe for both royal family members and members of the public. The wasp infestation created security and safety concerns that extended far beyond the inconvenience to the royal residents themselves. The long-term implications of the Sandringham wasp crisis extend well beyond the immediate operational challenges. Environmental experts have noted that unusual insect activity often reflects broader ecological changes, including climate patterns, habitat disruption, and shifting seasonal cycles. For an estate that prides itself on environmental stewardship and sustainable practices, these developments raise important questions about adaptation and resilience. The royal family's response to this crisis also provides insight into how the modern monarchy handles unexpected challenges. Rather than maintaining complete silence, both King Charles and Queen Camilla chose to acknowledge the situation publicly, demonstrating a level of transparency that reflects contemporary expectations for public figures. Their willingness to discuss practical difficulties humanizes the royal experience while maintaining appropriate dignity. The incident has sparked broader conversations about estate management practices across Britain's historic properties. Many of these grand estates face similar challenges as environmental conditions change, and the royal family's experience at Sandringham may serve as a case study for other property managers dealing with similar issues. Professional pest management specialists have noted that wasp populations can explode under certain conditions, particularly when weather patterns create ideal breeding environments combined with abundant food sources. The extensive gardens and woodland areas of Sandringham, while beautiful and ecologically valuable, can provide exactly these conditions when circumstances align. The financial implications of addressing such an infestation across a 30,000 square foot estate are substantial. Professional pest control services, ongoing monitoring, safety measures for public areas, and potential modifications to planned events all represent significant costs that must be balanced against the estate's other operational needs and public obligations. Looking forward, the Sandringham wasp crisis may lead to enhanced environmental monitoring and rapid response protocols across all royal estates. The experience demonstrates the importance of having comprehensive pest management strategies in place before problems reach crisis levels, particularly for properties that serve both private residential and public functions. The situation also highlights the intersection between royal life and everyday practical challenges that affect property owners across Britain. While the scale and public attention may be unique to royal estates, fundamental issues of pest control, environmental management, and balancing multiple property uses are familiar to many landowners. As autumn approaches, estate managers will be closely monitoring the situation to ensure that winter preparations can proceed smoothly and that the traditional Christmas celebrations at Sandringham can take place without disruption. The resolution of this crisis will likely influence pest management strategies not just at Sandringham, but across the entire portfolio of royal properties. Queen Camilla's frank characterization of the situation as terrible will be remembered as a moment when royal reserve gave way to practical honesty about the realities of managing historic properties in the modern world. Her willingness to discuss these challenges publicly, combined with the King's proactive approach to visitor safety, demonstrates how the contemporary monarchy balances tradition with transparency in ways that previous generations might not have considered. The Sandringham wasp invasion of 2025 serves as a reminder that even the most prestigious and well-managed properties remain subject to the unpredictable forces of nature, and that effective leadership sometimes means acknowledging problems openly rather than pretending they don't exist.